Can you guys hear me okay?
Great.
Yes,
Good
we
to see you.
can.
Hi, Jody.
Hi, Frank. Welcome.
Hi, Darlene.
Little secret, we may know Frank.
It's some of my greatest. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for peeps down at the log cabin and just for the program itself. So I'm happy to do this.
Awesome. Well, Frank, welcome. So if you could tell us about your Europe experience, and all of our participants, once again, if you have any questions to ask Frank about the experience, even the hard parts, please put it in the chat. But Frank, please go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, so Year Up. I'll tell you guys for sure how it started. It really just started on a ride on the bus. I didn't really know where I was going in life in terms of what I wanted to do. I was doing community development, I was doing the culinary thing, but I just wasn't finding my niche. And as well as, money is very scarce in some departments. And so IT kind of came up through Europe for me as a ride on a bus stop, did the whole application, and they really are how they really kind of condense it into what the program is. Their slogan is 6 months of dedications for a lifetime of opportunity. Now, when you think about that, you're thinking about 6 months, and you're not really sure what's going to go into that 6 months, and neither did I. And really, what that 6 months entails at first before you go into your internship is a lot of hard work. They're squeezing almost about maybe a year or two of work into hey Justin, good to see you too, buddy, or not see you, but thanks for the chat. They're condensing maybe 1 to 2 years of IT information technology learning and courses into a 6-month program, or a 6-month learning and development program before you hit your internship. And my experience with that, I have to let you know that school is not, I won't say it's not my best, but sometimes it's hard to pay attention. It's hard to multitask. You can hit what they like to call the burnout really fast. And really the experience that I had there was just so much support within people trying to help me out. And like, you got this, you can learn these things. It's not anything different than, I would say, a regular school, except for the staff. The staff there are really there to put you on the right path, make sure you have the right tools and resources so that you can be successful, so that you can go ahead and go into your internship knowing just knowing the tools that you need to at least get you on the way. And they really leave a lot of that up to you. Mind you, a lot of us are much older, when we joined the Europe program. So either we're out of high school, we're not really sure what we're wanting to do. IT seems like a really great thing. It's a booming business, it's a booming occupation, and you can pretty much get a job anywhere. But what comes with IT is a lot of hardships. You're still that cold customer service base. You need to have that. If you are having a hard time, talking to people, they give you different classes besides just the IT, the programming, and the quality assurance things. They give you communications classes. They give you public speaking classes. And when you go out into the business world of IT, these are things that you're going to need to learn on the way. And so for me, I'm a huge talker. So the public speaking portion was a little bit easy until they said, when you can't public speak, actually, Europe accepts students up to the age of 26. That is true. Yeah, they do accept people up to the age of 26. I was 24 when I joined. So, well, wait, it's 26 now? I thought it used to be 24. Anyways, my experiences with it, as a little bit older adult than everybody else was at the time, was just trying to make sure that I can apply myself, as well as be the best person I could be, that same person that I was, and really try and really see where I want to do. IT is not something that I want to do for the rest of my life, but the reality of the world is that it's a good business to go into, and it's forever growing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be fully indebted into information technology for you to be really good at it, but you have to be good at it. You know what I'm saying? And so once I kind of completed the first 6 months of the journey going into the internship, my internship, I was placed at Premier Blue Cross. And Premier Blue Cross was, I don't know exactly how everybody else's internship went, uh, but with uh, but with most but with most with most internships, they went ahead and got us pretty much thrown us to the wolves in that sense. Let's see, it looks like we got some other extra questions here. See, the students who are intimidated by the mathematics involved in what Europe does. In terms of the mathematics, I think mathematics comes across, most boards. What would you do in any case when you don't know? You have to ask. These they're not going to let you slip up. But if you don't know the answer to the question, like when I was in Europe, Puget Sound. I graduated in class 9. So that was back in 2016. So I don't know how the programs really changed from there. I did not have like a mathematics program when I was there. My programs really mostly consisted of programming, information technology, public speaking, and then also Excel. Now, Excel will probably be the class that has the most mathematics involved in it, because you're learning how to use functions and learning how to, use functions to create whole spreadsheets at a time. So back to the internship portion. I was a client computer technician. And so pretty much if you have IT in a business, you typically have an IT team, and that IT team consists of technicians, usually in tiers. So going from tier 1, tier 2 to tier 3. And at Premier Blue Cross, we had a service desk, and then we had the client technician team. So if you split those two, a service desk is more of you're taking the password calls, like really quicker things that you can do over the phone that end users have. If you guys don't know what an end user is, an end user is somebody that uses technology that you support. So we call them end users. But with that being said, I was on the client technician team, so we did a lot of more hands-on things. So, in terms of imaging computers, so not a hard drive, but putting an operating system on the desktop, on the machine, making sure everybody has the right permissions and all of these things so that they're ready to go on either their first day, or if their machine is broken or anything like that, we go ahead and service them too, going on from the networking and so many other things. But for the most part, for me, when I first started, like that first week, it was more like I said, they kind of put you out, they kind of send you to the wolves. And not every internship is the same. But for the Premier Blue Cross, they kind of had an expectation of just like, hey, this guy is ready to go from that 6 months. They place him here. Let's go ahead and put him on there. And honestly, I feel that when it comes to IT, that's the best way to do it. Probably the biggest struggle that I had was, it's a 6 month program. So everything is kind of coming at you really fast. And you're kind of learning on the fly on how to prioritize your work and how to prioritize your time, because you're dealing with people who think that their job is way more important than your job, but they don't know that they can't do their job without you. And so how do you make that how do you cross that level, being respectful, prioritizing your time, making sure that this person is up to date with all of the steps that you're doing, and that, if this is going to be delay, if they're looking for a laptop that they need at this day and you can't get it to them at this day, have a reason, make sure that you have it outlined on when it's going to be done and what the next steps will be. The one thing that you don't want to do is keep somebody waiting and they don't know why they're waiting. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for the most part, just, you know, the hardest part I feel in my experience is really just dealing with angry customers. dealing with angry end users. And what I mean by that is that they're not bad people. They just got a job to do. And a lot of times you're dealing with people who don't understand technology. And that's why you're here. You're here to not just fix their things, but also behind the scenes, give them some information. Are they going to take it and try it the next time? Probably not. But as long as you give them that information, as long as you give them the tools that they need, you can't say that you didn't do the right job. And that's, I think, is what's most important about IT, is that you do have all the tools. People are looking for you to do some really good work, and people are looking for you to fix their things, and provide them with the necessary updates and things that they need so that they can go ahead and do their job. Um, as well, I would say another challenging thing that I would have to, that was in terms of the internship, is wondering if you're going to get hired on or not. Because obviously, when you do go to your internship, there is a chance that if you do a good job, that they will hire you if they have the bandwidth or if they have the opportunity to do so. My experience with that was they were going to hire me, and then you can't really beat the inevitable. They were actually going to hire me through another alumni program called UPro. Which, if you guys are in Europe, make sure you get in touch with UPro. They will help you on your way after your internship to get you in a good job. But uh, uh, what ended up going on is that Premier Blue Cross went through this huge layoff. So one day I came in and there's 400 laptops in my office, and those laptops have to be repurposed and reimaged. And then that was the day that they told me that they couldn't give me the job because Premier Blue Cross is going through their own things. And so what you have to understand with these internships is that you can't go to the internship looking for a job. That's where you kind of hurt yourself there. What you're going to the internship for is, one, to finish off the program. Don't forget, you're still in the program, so you have to finish this. But also, you're there to learn. You can only get so much out of that first 6 months of learning and development from what these teachers give you. But everything else, this is the hands-on. We're on the game. We're playing. We're going. And so that's where you're going to get the most depth. That's where you're going to get the most experience. And you have to look at it as, this is an experience where I can show myself off, where I can learn the most things that I can. And then when you're done, you'll go ahead. If they offer you a job or something like that, hooray. If they don't, that does not mean you did a bad job. That just means that they don't have the time, or they don't have the open position. So that's when you start going into looking at, you start preparing for graduation. It's all fun. And this is where the hardest part comes in. The hardest part is, now you're graduated. Well, what do you do? And that's where you can decide to either go back to school, go to college. You know what I'm saying? Some people decided to go that route. Some people went to college and then went to year up, because, year up offers things that college does not. And that is a hands-on experience that you get to do through your internship. But for the most part, one thing that I could at least give off is say, once you graduate, use all of the resources that Europe gives you. From the UPro, keep in contact with your advisor, with any of your, if I know anybody that's in Europe, when you go to Europe, you get a mentor. Make sure you connect with your mentor. They are a professional person that is literally signed up to help you, with the business side and professional side of what you may be getting into. And they you want to learn all of these things from them. uh let's see, what else do we got? Is there anything else? Let me look at the let me look
Yeah,
at
we
the
had a question, Frank. What was
Yeah,
the most challenging part of these experiences, potentially meaning the internship and the school, and
yeah,
how did you overcome it?
for sure. In terms of the learning and development side, really getting back into the school motion. Mind you, I hadn't been in school for about, want to say, like, since 2011, and it been 2016 now, and I'm not keen on sitting at a desk all day, in a hot room, trying to learn all of these things all at once. It was not something that I did that I was keen to. And how I overcame that was really biting the bullet and, you know, looking back at my reason of why I joined Gear Up. And the main reason was just like I really did not know what else to do. Everybody has their own reasons of why they're joining Gear Up, and Gear Up is a much more personal program. And so you want to look at those things. Why are you here? What are you looking for to get out of this? And also, like I said earlier, use your resources. These people are here for you. You're going to have teachers, you're going to have guidance counselors, they're going to have people who've probably been through the program before. Start picking their brains, you know what I'm saying, and really look into how they made their journey from where they were back then until where they are now. In terms of the internship itself, like I said earlier, it's really just that base of battling through. For me, it was just like, am I going to get a job when I get out of here? And that was my biggest thing. I did not have a job from the time after graduation for like the next 3 months, and I was applying for jobs every day. And like I said, that does not mean that you are a bad candidate. That just means that either maybe you need to work on your interviewing skills, or maybe that place just does not have an opportunity for you right then and there. Because remember, even if you do have experience, you're going up against people who've probably gone to college for 4 years or 6 to 10 years. But Year Up was made for people who do not have that opportunity. We're trying to close the opportunity divide by giving everybody a solid chance, so that they can go to school, so that they can learn and do all of these things. And that's why it's important. And so, it's one of those, don't swallow your pride when it comes to Year Up, I guess is what I'm saying. Be the best person that you can be the best person in the room, you know what I'm saying? I think you'll do great. So yeah.
Frank, I'm glad you mentioned that you're not necessarily in this for the long haul in your life. I think, you know, IT is a skill. It's a technical trade, just like plumbing or electrical or anything. And with IT, everybody needs IT. So it's an introduction to all kinds of industries. And so
Exactly.
it's a great opportunity to get into any field you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's not an end necessarily, it's a beginning.
For sure. And that's another thing that I wanted to piggyback off of that as well, is that there's so many different occupations within IT. I'm a technician, a network admin assistant, but I do a lot of networking stuff. But you can be a programmer, you could be a developer, you can be a manager, of IT, a project manager, a program designer. It doesn't matter. There's so many things. When you find your niche in that, if you don't like, directly working with people, maybe being a programmer or a developer is more of your thing. You know what I'm saying? Where you're doing everything on the back end. If that's not something that you like to do, you're not crunching numbers, maybe you can be a data analyst where you're using Excel and creating functions and all that stuff. There's so many options on the plate for you to really exercise what you want to do and your skills. And I think that's what's really great about IT, is that you don't have to go which one direction. You can really focus on whatever you want to do, and everybody needs that.
Frank, thank you so much.
No problem.
We are at the end of our time today, but I do want to say that I've known Frank for many, many, many years. And
Yes.
I am so happy to have you come and share your accomplishments today. I'm
Pleasure.
so happy for you, Frank.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you for coming to share with everyone today. And with that, we're